Hey everyone, it's Angela, and I'm here to do my review on Scream Season 1, Episode 4. I believe it is called Aftermath. My TV didn't have the title, which was kind of stupid. But anyway, I am joined with a very special thing tonight. You guys ready? Are you ready for this? Oh yes, it is a post-it note of the sheriff's name, so I don't have to say Sheriff Nobody. Yes. Kyle actually told me on last week's video that his name is Clark Hudson, and I wrote it down, and I'm super excited to have this beauty with me because I love Post-its, and I know this guy's name, so I'm pretty excited. But getting right into this recap, it is going to be another 5-minute recap with a little bit of theories at the end, so let's get started. Okay, so the episode starts off with Emma outside the police station crying. I'm crying because Riley's dead. Noah shows up and he's crying because Riley's dead. Everybody is upset about this, okay? Like everybody. If you're not upset, then I'm sorry. But freaking Riley was my number one. And look where that landed me. And he actually shouts out, "Protect and serve my ass." And I just laugh so hard because I can only recall how many times I've said that myself. I've seriously been broken down on the side of the road, and 5 cops have passed me, did not stop and help. Really. Thanks, guys. Way to do your job. The Brandon James mask has been found by Tyler's burning car, and they find the body but no head. And Brooke is devastated, and I was like, yeah, you should be, because you should be dead. Audrey and Noah are talking, and Audrey suggests the idea of Bi-Curious and the Virgin teaming up to form a vigilante tag team, and I was like, yes, get some justice in this town. There's still shady business going on between Jake and Will, and we find out this episode that it was blackmailing, like a lot of people said it was, and Will has been accepted to Duke, but he did not get a scholarship, so that means $60,000 is needed, and he knows his father's not going to co-sign on a student loan for him, so Jake suggests that they go and do a little more blackmailing like Nina and Tyler started. I was like, all right, you're really sketching me out. Jake is still on my radar, guys. There's a town hall meeting where Sheriff Hudson takes the stage. Yes, not Sheriff No Name, Sheriff Hudson, guys. Did you guys know that? Who knew, right? And he is confident that it is over. And I was like, oh, really? You're confident? Let's see how long this lasts. But another thing, why the hell is Jake grinning, like, during this meeting? I mean, did anybody else find this weird? Emma thinks the killer is still alive and not Tyler, because why would Tyler be harassing her? And while she's having this conversation at town hall, Piper, I think is her name, that runs the podcast, and she's lurking around in the background. And I'm going to talk about her a little bit in my theories this week. Brooke is picking a nail polish color for for Riley's funeral, and she gets a little alert that is basically a poll on who people want to see dead next, her or Emma, and she has like 348 votes, Emma has 2, so Brooke obviously spends a lot of this episode just distraught, and she gets comfort from Jake later on, and I'm just like, go away, we know you have an ulterior motive. And Brooke needs to be sad because it's time for her to wake up and stop being a mean person. And she confides in Jake that she doesn't want to be that mean person anymore. So I was like, good on her, but she still needs to die. She should have died over Riley. Okay, Piper is saying that people need it to be Tyler, and the sheriff is not going to be the only scapegoat. And I was like, that's very interesting. Emily gets a Lancer yearbook from '94 where all the victims' pictures have been cut out, and Kevin Duvall has been scratched out with a note above it that says the truth lies where the mask was made. So they connect that to the hospital where Brandon James got his mask, and Emma and Audrey go. And Audrey's asking Emma, why do you think the killer is a male? It could be a female. And Audrey's like, Emma said, well, the voice on the phone sounded like a male. And all of a sudden we heard Ghostface, and we turn around and it's Audrey with voice changer. And she said she used it in Rachel's film about zombies. I was just like, yeah. But as they're walking down the hall, there's blood everywhere, and I'm just like, this is so creepy. And actually, I was sitting here like this. Like, seriously, I was like, don't go in there. It's a trap. Like, I'm a giant chicken shit, so I was not watching that shit. I was not having it. I would have been out the door, like, really fast. But they continue on to the surgery room where there's all these x-rays of Brandon James, and there is a a dead pig on the table that has been decapitated, and the heart is missing, which Emma received in the mail. They also go into this other little room where somebody looks like they've been sleeping, and they hear a noise, and it's Noah. He showed up. He's going to help the cavalry find out what's going on, and he said it looks a little too staged to be the lair. Well, they go into another room that's actually the lair with the victims' mementos on the table and pictures of the victims hanging from the ceiling along with Emma. Emma sees Nina's laptop and takes Audrey's SIM card and downloads some files. And on their way out, they see the Brandon James mask, and Emma decides, I'm going to pull it down, and out pops Tyler's head with his lips sewn shut. What the hell is up with that? Medical training, maybe? I don't know. And as they're running out of the hospital, they are busted by Mr. Sheriff. And I was like, oh, shit. Now they got it now. But anyway, he's having to deal with the fact that it is not Tyler who is doing all these killings. And he got an anonymous tip on where they were. And Brooke's dad is trying to talk to her about what's going on. But he gets a message, and it's actually most likely the boys blackmailing him for $100,000 to be brought up by tomorrow night. So, yeah, I think he's the mayor, though, so maybe he has actually access to that kind of cash. They seem kind of wealthy. Audrey and Noah are going to work on the files, but they ejected the card too soon and only have one file, which uploads as soon as they click on it, and it is of Emma's first time with Will. And I was like, oh crap. And Piper's thinking about leaving, and she's talking to Emma about this. And Emma cannot give her details on what is going on in the investigation, but she says that she would stick around. So next week's episode looks interesting. The the teacher is making out like to be super sketchy next week, and I'm like, oh god, what's going on with him? Because anytime they make somebody obviously sketchy, I'm just kind of like, I don't think it's them anymore. But that was my recap. I went a little over. I'm sorry. I was very talkative tonight. I was a little disappointed with this episode because there was not death. I know we're not going to have one every week. I mean, that was really unrealistic of me to expect that. But come on, a dude needs to die on the show. Really? Really? A dude? We have had like three girls? Nina, Rachel, Riley, right? I don't think I'm missing a girl. And Tyler. Come on now. Okay, so getting into a few theories. Piper. I do not think Piper is involved in this. Yes, she would know a lot about crime scenes and could explain why Tyler's lips were sewn shut. But I just think she's a good reporter. She's always lurking around in the background trying to get the inside scoop. And that always just kind of stuck out to me, that she's trying really hard to do her job well. What else? I know I said I wanted to talk about something else. I just don't remember what I wanted to talk about. Well, dang. Oh, okay. So, Noah is talking to Emma about the yearbook and how it is kind of analog, especially when the killer is using these social media platforms. And that stuck out to me because when I heard the word analog, I kind of jumped to like older, like old-fashioned, someone older that's not used to all this new technology. And if you know my top two suspects, then you know that they're older people, so it would fit. But speaking of top suspects, let's jump right on into that. Okay, coming in at number 3. Number 3 is what I call the floater, because it kind of changes every week based on who is kind of sticking out to me, and it's not really like a solid log. So this week, number 3 is going to be Audrey. Audrey, because when they were in the hospital and she pulled out the voice changer, it was the exact voice that Emma has been getting over her phone, and it just really stuck out to me. I was like, why do you have that exact voice programmed? It is very, very suspicious. Out of all the voices you could have on there, you have that one just pop up. Coming in at number 2 is going to be the same as last week. It is going to be Kevin Duvall, Emma's father. This guy is just sticking out to me so much. He was not mentioned by name in this episode, but there was a reference to him with his picture being scratched out, and maybe he's hiding something and could not be himself for whatever reason, and he's wanting Emma to find the truth. And coming in at number 1 is Sheriff Clark Hudson. Yes, yes. This guy is still number 1 on my radar, you guys. Obviously, I think he's Brandon James's older brother, Troy. He's just sticking out to me so much. And the more I think about it, the more I think, if it's a single killer, then they're going to be somebody older. Because it has to be related to this Brandon James thing. And it's not making sense for a single killer to be somebody young. Now, I'm not discounting the theory that it could be somebody younger involved, like a team or a duo, but I just want to say, if it's just one person, it's going to be someone older. I know a lot of people I've heard so many that Emma could actually be Brandon James's kid, but I don't think that's true, you guys, because when Noah was talking about the Brandon James murders, he said they happened 20 years ago, and supposedly Brandon James died 20 years ago. So that would make Emma around 19-ish if Daisy was pregnant around that time, and I just don't see it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy this episode, even though we did not have a vicious death? I will be honest, when I heard Ghostface, before we jumped around to see Audrey there with the voice changer, I freaked out a little bit. I jumped so high. Yeah. I'm behind tonight on watching shows and filming videos. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and so I'm not well late at night, and it kind of freaked me out. But anyway, let me know what you thought of this episode down below. I'd love to hear from you and talk about what you think is going to happen next week, and I will see you next week with the episode 5 recap. Bye!